Alright, peace and greetings YouTubers. Alright, so welcome to part 8 of my R&B is Dead, What the F Happened series. And in this specific series, I want to talk more so about something I think that is very important that many R&B entertainers and urban acts have forgotten to do and have forgotten to place priority on, which is live performing, which is the ability to create a brand as an act, as a live act, as an act that can go on tour and give you the show that you have just lost your mind over, that you will pay again to see again and again and again and again, and then go buy 8 copies of their album because you were just that moved. We're not there anymore. You know, that's something that's really affected many R&B entertainers. This is exactly why many rock and country acts who are 30 and 40 years out of their prime, like the Rolling Stones, can still go on stadium tours and sell out stadiums, not even arenas, but stadiums, 30, 40,000 seat stadiums, because they have sealed the deal on their brand as live performing acts. So even though the Rolling Stones are in their 70s and some are even pushing 80s, to the point where they're on stage with oxygen tanks almost, huffing and puffing for air, barely making it through their songs, people will pay $200 and $300 to see them because these entertainers over the decades have given their fans everything that they've asked for as far as live performances, as far as dynamic shows. So this is why these people can still constantly tour and just really keep people, I guess, engaged. Now, I will say, it's very hard to be an entertainer in 2013. It's very hard. Mainly because we are a very hard generation to please. At this point, we've seen everything done. We've seen it. Been there, done that, bought a t-shirt. We are the generation that all thinks we're better than the entertainers that are out, including me. I think I'm better than half of the people on the radio. Why is this person famous? I can do that. Like, literally. You know, the minute Chris Brown sprains his ankle and can't dance anymore, I'm in there. I'm in that. I'm in. Alright? You know, the minute I get buff and get a little piece of chest or whatever and got a little bit more chest than Trey Songz, I'm in this industry. It's nothing. I ain't even trying to be a singer, but, you know, that's really the mentality many of us have. So, as an entertainer in 2013, you have to really be on top of your stuff. You know, basically, at this day and age, everything has been done before. Everything that you can think of has already been done. If Aretha, Patti, Whitney Mariah, Gladys, Shaka, Natalie, Marvin, Donnie, and Luther didn't do it vocally and sing us under the table, Patrice Rushen, Prince, Stevie Wonder and Sheila E. did it with the instruments, and Madonna did it with the imaging, and Michael and Janet did it with the stage performances and the music videos. Like, at this point, everything has been done by somebody before. So, as a new entertainer, you have to find a way to create your own lane by using the tools already provided for you by the school of entertainers of the people that I just named, and really just make it happen for yourself. I think somebody like Beyonce's done a great job of doing that. I think Alicia Keys did a great job of doing that. I think McGill is on his way. You know, a lot of these people are really doing it. And then there's a lot who just can't seem to get it right. Like, people got to understand, live performing is so important. Live performing, being able to be a great live performer is what's going to determine whether you're going to have somebody with a long career in the industry or you're going to have somebody who just falls off. You know, we've let imaging become so important that it takes over everything else. Like, in the plate of music that we eat off of, okay? It's supposed to be split like 5 ways. Talent, imaging, live performing, marketing, and the overall relatability as an artist. Those are like the 5 things you need in order to be successful in this industry. But it's really turned into like 90% imaging, 0.6401 repeating squared divided by 10 squared again. And then divided like by 1,000 as far as talent. Like, it's like tiny little pieces of pie when it comes to talent, and then the rest is marketing. So that's why so many of these entertainers come and go so fast. Case in point, talk about somebody like Cassie, who had the ability to possibly become a great superstar. She was on her way. She had the right marketing people behind her. There was a lot of buzz. She had the little song "Me and You," which I did not like because I hated that there was no musicality behind it. It was just a drum kit and a few synthesizers. But everybody loved the song. So it's time for the grand performance. She's going to get on 106 in Park and she's going to kill it. So the hype is there. The little teenage girls and guys are screaming. Ah! They're ready. And then Cassie gets on stage. I got to get ready because it's about to be an epic performance. And the music's kicking. Dun, 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 and everybody's ready. And then Cassie comes out there, you know, what's up, 106? Yeah, I'm okay. And then she got that mic, and then, you've been waiting so long, I'm here to answer your call. I know that I should have had you wait at all. That's what I think about, what I wanna do with you. Wait, am I still performing? Like, everybody was like, what the hell? Who does she... Did she think she was going to come on this show and really do that, and we were just supposed to sit there and keep supporting her? Like, the performance died halfway through. Like, Cassie forgot she was on stage. And then poor Terrence had to come out and be like, Cassie just shut down the stage. I said, they must have changed the definition of what shut down means, because I mean, the power must have went out, because Lord, if that wasn't the most nursing home performance I had ever saw, it was terrible. The worst shit I have ever seen. And that's probably one of the main reasons why she went on like a downhill spiral, because then she kept performing at other venues and kept doing the same mess. People were like, what the heck? And then she'd go on the radio stations and they'd be like, oh, can you sing something? No. Well, then why are you famous for? You don't deserve to be famous. Sit down and go somewhere. You're a pretty face, pretty girl, but I don't understand what purpose you serve in music. And it's weird because Cassie actually has some really cool songs. She just sucks as a performer, which is why nobody cares about her. And you know, imaging versus talent, all right? This is why, you know, I was watching Luther Vandross' Wembley concert, which was funny because, you know, this man, I can't remember how many nights he sold Wembley out that year, but, you know, he had a whole DVD for it back in the 80s. And this was Big Luther. And all Luther had was his round stage, Lisa Fisher and the other lady as his backup singers, you remember, because he was in the group Change, and then his band. That's it. And this man sold out this arena so many times, 20, 30,000 seats every night. And Luther Vandross has never been a person to sell a lot of records. But he could sell out venues like it was just nothing. So this man went and sang his heart out. And literally people flocked to the show because of the talent, because of the voice, because of his ability to be a great and excellent, outstanding live performer. You know, and this was Fat Luther, okay? So imaging wasn't that important when it came to Luther. It was about the talent. The same can be said for somebody like Janet when she was first coming out. People like to be like, oh, well, she just sold her body, she just looked good, and she was Jackson, that's why she was famous, or whatever. But, you know, that's the only reason she got hits. But I'm like, when you look at Janet when she really was coming into her own, she got her very first #1 when she was extremely overweight. If you look at the When I Think of You video, that's big Janet. That's not six-pack abs and the breast up to here and you know, the toned arms. No, that's big Janet all stuffed in 18 layers of clothes, and she tried to slide down the stair banister and was struggling or whatever, and the poor little heels that she was walking in were struggling for dear life to hang in there, and then she dipped her fingers in the cake. But because Janet had a great song and there was some great marketing, and great song, great marketing, the great relatability, she danced her behind off or whatever, and it was just, and then the video was good, it became her very first #1 hit. So it's kind of like your imaging and your talent have to balance out in order to really get there. And because she was really becoming her own as far as a live stage act, she really just started getting it together. And that's one thing that's so important. Like, your live performances can be the end of your career if you don't do it right, all right? We've learned that from Ashley Simpson when she went on that show and lip-synced and acted a fool. Instead of just playing it off, she ran off stage. I'm like, what the hell? Or I don't know if you saw the 3LW clip when they were still a group and Keely was rapping and then she messed up, so she ran off stage. I'm like, I don't understand what's up with these kids running off stage. You stay on and figure it out. Or case in point, at the 2003 BET Awards when Ashanti did this, and then right before she had done that, Beyonce came and did this, okay? Career killer, all right? You know, Ashanti got comfortable, had sold her a little bit of records, had a few records that she had broken. You know, she came all oiled up, ready, and she came out there with her PowerPoint presentation graphics and her 3 dancers and thought she was about to do something and tried to be cute with the you, me, my hair, my skin routine. And that was cool, but unfortunately, just 20 minutes earlier, Beyonce just came out dancing on top of her name with fans and pyrotechnics and 100,000 dancers and Jay-Z and just killed it. So after that, we kind of stopped wondering, or we kind of started to wonder, why the heck do we like Ashanti again? We saw the demise come along. You know, that's kind of where we go. Maybe that's a stretch, but I feel like that's really what it is. Like, as an entertainer in R&B, you have got to really seal your brand by becoming a strong live artist, right? It's not just about dancing, because not everybody's a dancer. Whitney Houston was never a dancer. You know, Whitney Houston was stiff as a brick. Even when she tried to dance on the I'm Your Baby Tonight tour, we just looked at her like, just sing, Whitney. But whatever you do well, you have to really just seal the deal on it when you get on that stage. You know, somebody like Mary J. Blige puts a lot of effort into her live performances. Mary, I've never thought that she was the greatest singer. You know, she has a lot of emotion into her performances. But Mary also puts a lot of effort into her live shows. Mary is always going to have an 8-piece band no matter where she goes. Even if she performs in the parking lot with Sierra, she is going to have her 8-piece band, and she's going to grunt and growl or whatever, and she's going to run and jump across the stage and do everything else. All right? She knows how to command the stage, keep her fans, keep everybody engaged. You know, there's some entertainers who will never really sell a large amount of records, but because they have notoriety as live performers and can always keep you entertained, they will always be in this industry at some day and time, whether it's touring or whether it's just being asked to do live tributes at these award shows. Somebody like Fantasia or Jennifer Hudson, Jasmine Sullivan to an extent. You know, or I'll even say John Legend, even though he kind of sells records. All these entertainers, they have a history of just being excellent when they get on stage. So people are always going to want to see them. So even though they may never go platinum again or never may go gold again, you know, they're in this industry till they kick the bucket if they choose to. You know, that's what they've become. That's what these entertainers have got to understand. And these entertainers have to know how to understand and know their audience. You know, not every type of performance is appropriate for every type of audience. Case in point, Monica back there. I remember when she was doing the Makings of Me era, and she went on the Ellen show to perform. Now, we know Ellen is watched by all of the happy soccer moms that stay home and sew and knit and bake cookies for the kids when they get out of school, you know. So, soccer moms aren't too familiar with Monica, but I bet you they will know her Diane Warren song, that I will cross the ocean for you. I will go and bring you the moon. Like, they love that. Like, all the soccer moms says, I will be your... So, of course, they're like, oh, Monica, we haven't heard from her in 20 years. What is she doing? So then Monica goes out there, and then every time the beat drop, and I was like, Monica, this is a great performance, because she had the full band and it was hype, but them soccer moms didn't know what to do with that thing. What? They were lost. So that every time the beat drops performance should have been a 106 & Park performance. But instead, when they get to 106 & Park, these people never have a freaking band. So they go up there with a DJ and do some half-ass performance and then wonder why nobody's buying their albums, right? Like, my theory is, if you can make it to your second album, every performance thereafter should always have a band. You should always at least have a 3-4-piece band, at least, all right? And I understand the R&B acts a lot of times, the labels aren't giving them money to have a band, but dang it, you go to somebody's church and pick up their drummer and go to another church and pick up a keyboardist. Pick up somebody brand new that will play for free just because they want the exposure and the right to say, I played for this person or I played for that person. All right? You got to learn how to make the system work. You know, the more you invest in your live performances, the more people will invest into you as an artist. It's great that you have the music, but what else can you do to keep us engaged? Because at this point, the music, we can just go look at that on YouTube and we can rip that off the internet and steal it anyway like everybody else. So what are you doing that keeps us engaged? You know, you have to know your audience. And then on top of that, you have to be a well-rounded performer. You have to be a performer that can just conquer anything that you put your name on. Every time you go on a stage, the expectation for you should be this high. Somebody like Beyonce is great at doing that. Her expectations when she goes on a stage is extremely high because she set the bar for her own self. And she's been able to brand herself as a great live performer, which is why on this current tour that she's on, which is sold out, you know, she can sell out a world tour without any new music. As a matter of fact, Beyonce hasn't had a real smash single ladies type hit since 2008. But she's able to sell out an arena tour with not too much effort just because, you know, hey y'all, I'm going on tour. Buy the tickets. And people flock to get them. They know she's going to give them a good show. You know, somebody on the other hand, like Rihanna, who is a great person that commands the charts, can always get a #1 hit, can always, she burps in the mic, it's top 10. It's just nothing. But when she goes on tour, she still does somewhat okay, but it's not people flocking to go out and purchase her tickets. And you'd think people would, seeing that she has 11 or 12 #1 hits. And you know, but people know that as a live act, Rihanna is very hit or miss. And depending on what your standards are for live performances, you're probably not going to pay to see Rihanna if you grew up on a Janet or a Whitney. But if you're born after 1999 or whatever, and all you know is Rihanna, of course, she's going to be the say-all be-all. But you know, you have to be very well-rounded. You know, one example of a well-rounded performer, somebody like Whitney Houston, okay? I sat there and I watched one of her I Will Always Love You tour concerts. It was the one from Brazil. It's actually on YouTube. Very well put together show. The band, Ricky Martin and them, they had that together. It's 130 degrees outside. There's like 900,000 people outside. Whitney just went out there and conquered that show. Just killed it. All right, she's not really a dancer, but she could do her two-step. But her stage presence and her stamina and her relatability and interaction with the crowd, like she'd go from singing "I Want to Dance with Somebody" to "Yes, Jesus Loves Me" and preaching to the crowd, and then doing a church out, and then going back to "I'm Every Woman," and just she gave a great show. Or somebody like Michael Jackson could just do about anything on stage, especially my favorite tour, the Bad Tour. Like, it just was raw, it was energetic, it was funky, it was cool, it was just get to it, all right? And then, of course, my favorite tour that I've ever seen, and I saw this when I was like 9. This is when I lived in Europe, and there was no cable, at least for Americans to watch, and the radio was very Italian. They play a few American acts, but the little Disco Palladio station, wasn't much to choose from. But this lady from America came and was like, "Hey, I have this Janet Jackson concert called Velvet Rope we should watch." And I was like, "Who? Psh, isn't that Michael's sister?" You know, all I knew from Janet was "That's the Way Love Goes," and that's all I could remember. So I'm like, I don't want to watch this crap. But I ended up watching it anyway, and it turned out to be like the best thing I have ever seen. One of the best concerts, still, probably my favorite concert. I feel like any up-and-coming entertainer, that concert should be in your catalog, and you should be taking notes. Like, the show was so well put together. Everything from the band, the chemistry with the dancers, the lighting, the theme, the emotion, the different moods of the show. Like, everything was perfect. And on top of that, this isn't even like 20-year-old Janet that spins on her head. This is like 33-year-old Janet who's a little bit older and not really as popular as she used to be a few years ago. Like, this show was just so well put together. Yes, there were the moments where she's there with the 100,000 dancers and the nunchucks and all that crap. But there were other moments where, you know, I'm just going to come out and I'm going to rock out. We're going to do Black Cat. We're going to do a rock song. Because when you go to a Janet concert, you get everything. You're going to get your rock song. You're going to get her sitting on a stool with the ballads. Just sing a little, let me just sing a little something for you all. And then you're going to get the funky, sassy attitude Janet. And then you forget there's a Janet that has to rape the man on the stage. And then there's a Janet that's going to do her Come to Jesus songs. And like, it was such a great show. Ever since I've seen that show, I've been on Janet's nuts. And hell, that was like 15, 16 years ago. Janet is what is she, like 47 now? I still get excited when I watch that concert. Like, it's that good. Like, if you have never seen that show, or if you wonder why people are so gung-ho about Janet, and you're like, I don't understand, she's not really that great of a singer, and she's only famous because she's Michael's sister, that concert will shut you up. That concert will seal the deal on why she was in the position she was in. Like, that is what made me a fan. That's something that these entertainers today have to do. Becoming well-rounded performers. Becoming performers that can really just freaking kill the stage. You know, you don't have to be the singer. You don't have to have the pyrotechnics. But you have to be somebody that engages your crowd. If you're boring, or if you're doing something that your audience thinks that they can do, why are we a fan of you? Why are we following your every move? We don't care. Because at this point, you don't deserve to be where you're at. And that's what these entertainers have to understand. That's why I like shows like Arsenio Hall and Showtime at the Apollo when they're out. Because the crowd will let you know. If you sucked, you sucked. Arsenio Hall wouldn't let you go on stage just doing anything. You needed to have a full band. You needed to kill it. And you better not go up there lip syncing. Unless your name was, I'll leave it alone. But, you know, that's the industry today. So, I don't know. I guess I'll link a few great performances that I think really set the epitome of what a great live performer is, and just check some of those out. Share your opinions, share your thoughts. I know this video kind of ran, but there's a lot to say. So I guess it's going to be 8 and 9 since it got a little long. Anyway, I'm out. Subscribe. Deuces.